Right now, at this very moment, American warplanes are striking Iran. Iran is firing back. Ships are being attacked in one of the world's most critical waterways, and the price of everything you buy is about to go up. But here's what the cable news won't tell you. This didn't start last week. This didn't start with Trump, and it is nowhere close to over. Stick with me for the next 15 minutes, because by the end of this video, you will understand this conflict better than most members of Congress. Before we go anywhere, I need you to understand why you should care about a war on the other side of the world. 3 words: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow strip of ocean, just 21 miles wide, at its narrowest point, is the single most important waterway on the planet. Every single day, roughly 20% of the world's oil passes through it. That means gasoline for your car, heating oil for your home, and because of supply chain economics, the price of groceries, electronics, and shipping for virtually everything you order online. When Iran closes or disrupts the Strait of Hormuz, the global economy feels it within days. Gas prices spike, inflation rises, stock markets react, and right now, Iran is doing exactly that. So no, this isn't just a Middle East story. This is a story about your wallet, your economy, and what America's role in the world actually means in 2026. To understand what's happening today, we have to go back, way back, 1979, the Iranian Revolution. A radical Islamic government seizes power. American diplomats are taken hostage for 444 days. And from that moment forward, Iran and the United States become bitter enemies. For decades, the relationship is defined by sanctions, secret operations, and proxy conflicts. Iran funds terror groups across the Middle East. The U.S. imposes crushing economic penalties. Then comes 2015, the Obama nuclear deal, a landmark agreement that lifts sanctions on Iran in exchange for limits on their nuclear program. Critics call it the worst deal in history. Supporters say it kept Iran from building a bomb. 2018, Trump's first term. He tears up the deal. Maximum pressure. Sanctions return. Iran's economy collapses. January 2020, the moment everything changed. The U.S. kills Iran's top general Qasem Soleimani in a drone strike in Baghdad. Iran swears revenge. The region holds its breath. April 2025. Negotiations begin again. Trump's second term, a new attempt at a nuclear peace agreement. For months, it looks like a deal might actually happen. February 28, 2026. It all explodes. In a joint operation codenamed Operation Epic Fury, the United States and Israel launch airstrikes that kill multiple senior Iranian officials, including Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei himself. The world changes overnight. Within hours of the strikes, Iran launches hundreds of missiles and thousands of drones across the Middle East. They block the Strait of Hormuz. Hezbollah enters the conflict from Lebanon. Dubai International Airport, one of the world's busiest, is hit. Flights across the region come to a stop. Oil prices skyrocket. The war that everyone said would never happen is happening. By May 2026, a ceasefire is reached. A memorandum of understanding, an MOU, is signed. Iran agrees to reopen the strait. The U.S. agrees to lift some oil sanctions. The world exhales. But here's the thing about ceasefires in the Middle East. They are fragile. They are tested. And this one, tested immediately. Almost as soon as the ink is dry, Iranian forces begin harassing commercial ships again, warning vessels to use approved routes, firing on ships that don't comply. On July 6th and 7th, Iran strikes 3 commercial tankers in the strait. The U.S. responds, hitting over 80 Iranian military targets with precision strikes. Iran fires back, launching missiles and drones at U.S. military bases in Bahrain and Kuwait. As of right now, this week, U.S. warplanes have hit more than 90 targets inside Iran. Iran has struck U.S. facilities across the region, and the ceasefire that was supposed to end this war is hanging by a thread. Trump's message to Iran, 3 words, quote, "It will get much worse And here's the question nobody can answer. Is this still a limited military operation, or are we watching the opening chapters of a much bigger war? Let's break down what's really going on, because there are multiple forces at play here, and cable news is only giving you one piece of the puzzle. Force number 1, Iran's internal politics. Iran is not a unified country with a single message. Since Khamenei's death, his son Mojtaba has taken over as supreme leader. But inside Iran's leadership, there are hardliners who believe they should never back down, and moderates who know the country's economy cannot survive another full-scale war. The attacks on ships in the Strait. Many analysts believe they are being carried out by hardline elements within the Revolutionary Guard who are actively trying to sabotage any peace deal. Force number 2, America's own divisions. Even within the Trump administration, there is debate. Some advisors want maximum pressure until Iran completely surrenders. Others, reportedly including some within the State Department, believe a diplomatic solution is still possible. The U.S. recently reimposed oil sanctions on Iran, not just as punishment, but as leverage. The message, we will cut off your oil money until you comply. Force number 3, the global economy at stake. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, all U.S. allies, all hit by Iranian missiles, all now conducting their own retaliatory strikes on Iran. This is no longer just America versus Iran. This is a regional war, with the world's energy supply in the crossfire. Force number 4, the unknown attacker. Here's something that barely made the news. On July 10th, airstrikes hit Iran, and nobody claimed responsibility. Not the U.S., not Israel. Iran didn't even know who did it. That level of confusion in an active conflict zone, that is how accidents happen. That is how wars escalate beyond anyone's control. The bottom line, both sides have red lines. Both sides have internal factions that want escalation. And both sides are operating in an environment where one miscalculation could trigger something neither country wants. So, where does this go from here? There are 3 scenarios playing out. Scenario 1, a new deal. Iran, exhausted economically and militarily, comes back to the table. A revised agreement is signed, sanctions are lifted, the strait reopens. This is the outcome the State Department is pushing for, the outcome most of the world wants. But it requires Iran's leadership to make concessions that the hardliners may never accept. Scenario 2. Frozen conflict. The strikes continue at a low level. Neither side escalates to full war. Neither side reaches a real peace. The strait stays partially open, partially threatened, and the global economy pays the price indefinitely. Scenario 3. Full escalation. One strike goes wrong. A U.S. service member is killed. An Iranian nuclear facility is hit. A miscalculation triggers a response, and a response to that response until the limited strikes become something the world hasn't seen in decades. Right now, most analysts believe Scenario 2 is most likely, but Scenario 3 is closer than it has ever been. And that is why, every single day this week, this story matters. Here's what you need to remember from today's video. The U.S.-Iran conflict didn't start last month. It started in 1979 and has been building toward this moment for 47 years. A ceasefire was signed, and it is already breaking down. The Strait of Hormuz, which controls 20% of the world's oil, is at the center of everything, and right now, neither side has blinked. If you want to stay ahead of this story and understand every development as it happens, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, America Decoded breaks down the stories that actually matter, with context, history, and analysis you won't find anywhere else. And tell me in the comments, do you think the U.S. and Iran will reach a new deal? Or is this heading somewhere much darker? I'll see you in the next one.